My presentation is on cross-linguistic transfer of morphological awareness in Spanish-speaking English language learners. The facilitating effect of cognate knowledge. The research questions in this article were, is Spanish derivational awareness related to English vocabulary, with and without Spanish cognates? Number 2, does Spanish derivational awareness make a direct contribution to English reading comprehension? And does it also contribute indirectly through English derivational awareness and English cognate, non-cognate vocabulary? Let me explain morphological awareness. It's the ability to reflect upon and manipulate morphemes. That's the smallest phonological unit that carries meaning in a word. There are 3 types. There's inflection, which is different grammatical forms of a word without altering meaning or parts of the speech, books to books, and play to played. There's compounding, which is a formation of new words combining 2 or more words, cupcake over book. There's derivation, which forms a new word by combining a root word with an affix, prefix, or suffix. The root word carries a meaning, and the affix or prefix or suffix modifies or adds meaning to the root. For example, farmer, the suffix is -er. Okay, and we are going to be looking, like I said, the focus was going to be on derivational awareness. Derivational morphology. There are 3 aspects. There's relational, syntactic, and distributional. The first one, relational, is the common morpheme shared between 2 or more words. For example, heal, health. And of course, we know that heal and health have a different meaning, but, well, no, they kind of actually are related. I mean, they almost have the same meaning. To heal is to make somebody feel better, and the health, of course, is for you to do things that will make you also, feel better. So another one is the association of derivational suffixes with syntactic categories. So here is ness and shun indicates a noun, and if-I indicates a verb. And then there's the distributional. And this one has restrictions that apply to combinations of affixes. For example, us can be attached to nouns, but not verbs. This study, what was their method? They used 95 Spanish-speaking ELLs that lived in Canada. They were in 11 different schools. They studied 39 4th graders and 51 7th graders. English was a primary form of instruction. The mean average age was 11 years old. The children were born in Canada, I almost said California. Children were born in Canada and arrived 1 year before the study. They had resided between 1 to 14 years in Canada, and 75% of the population of the participants were primary Spanish speakers. 1/3 of them did go to Spanish heritage language classes, which were 2.5 hours a week, and their parents' level of education was mostly high school, which at the end, it didn't affect in any way the results. The measures. There were a battery of language and literacy measures, and there were parallel derivational awareness measures administered in English and in Spanish, okay? The measures were derivational awareness, vocabulary, reading comprehension. The controlled measures were phonological awareness, word reading, nonverbal reasoning, and demographic questionnaire. Procedure. There were trained research assistants who administered the language and literacy assessments, which were shortened versions, in a quiet classroom, of course, during school. The testing occurred in 2 sessions. And the 2 sessions, one was a group session, which were 15 to 20 students, and it was 60 minutes. where nonverbal reasoning, vocabulary, and reading comprehension were assessed in English, and real-world and non-word derivational awareness tasks were administered in both Spanish and English. The individual testing was also 60 minutes, and it measured phonological awareness, word reading, and morphological production, which were administered in Spanish and in English. Parents completed the demographic questionnaire and the consent form. The results. Spanish derivational awareness is related to English cognate vocabulary, but not English non-cognate vocabulary. That means cognate words are words that are spelled the same or spelled almost the same and may have the same meaning. So, for example, we have cognates a lot in science vocabulary words, okay? So gas and gas is the same. They can be the same. And then we have liquid, líquido, which almost is spelled the same also, or has the same root. And also, so that facilitated the kids' vocabulary in English, but it was not a cognate. Of course, it didn't make an impact on their ability to increase their English vocabulary. Their English reading comprehension was mediated by English derivational awareness, so if they knew derivational awareness in English, and English cognate vocabulary, which there isn't very much. The findings provided strong evidence to support the inclusion of morphological awareness as a key skill in reading. So here are some of the tables and the results and the models that they used. They were discussing that Spanish-speaking English language learners can use morphological skills developed in Spanish to facilitate vocabulary development in English, okay? So this is cross-linguistic transfer, which we're looking at. So indeed, their ability to use those morphological skills facilitated their vocabulary development. They can more easily recognize roots with Spanish cognates than roots that are unique to English. And of course, knowledge of cognates facilitated the transfer of Spanish derivational awareness to English vocabulary, which in turn supports English reading comprehension. So it all scaffolds upon each other. The implications of this study. So the implications are very important for the assessments that they used. So assessing derivational awareness will help identify weaknesses and strengths in children's literacy development. Now we know that Spanish-speaking ELL's derivational awareness can be assessed in English or in Spanish, and that when we have recent immigrants, we can be giving them intervention immediately if warranted based on these assessments. Cognate and morphological analysis and identifying cognates should be explicitly taught. That's another thing that, that they implied. Now that we know the results of this, we know that these things need to be explicitly taught so students can gain biliteracy. Okay, the limitations of the study. There was no separate measure of children's knowledge of cognate words, and cognate and non-cognate items were not matched on morphological structure or frequency. They also used a cross-sectional design, all measures given at a single time point. No directionality relationships were made. My comments. Spanish derivational awareness plays a key role in Spanish-speaking ELL's English reading development. Increased Spanish derivational awareness contributes to knowledge of English words that have Spanish cognates and enhances reading comprehension by facilitating English derivational awareness and cognate vocabulary. Therefore, both morphological and cognate strategies should be a part of the daily curriculum for Spanish-speaking ELLs. And one of the things that I was planning to use was like cognate charts, which here are some ideas. It directly tells you the pattern in them. And here again, we have the pattern and what the suffix or the affix or the prefix is in Spanish versus what it is in English. I think having these displayed in a classroom would really help the English learners. Another way to add a cognate wall is to have pictures, have the word and the English word, the picture, and the Spanish word. Of course, in dual language classes, we see a lot of cognate walls, but I did think that the morphology piece is very important. So I would add the morphology piece also to anchor charts around the room. Okay. And why is derivational awareness important? Well, 60% of the words in English academic material are morphologically complex. Okay, recognizing constituent morphemes within a word improves accuracy and fluency of decoding. And the third reason, it contributes to reading comprehension through the syntactic information encoded in derivational suffixes. For example, knowing the meaning and knowing what the different suffixes and affixes and prefixes mean will help you with, of course, sentence structure. On this, the observant typist persuaded analysts and the observer typed persuasive analysis, even though the words are structured the same. I mean, they're like in the same, oh, I'm sorry, this opened. They're in this, okay, they're in, oh, sorry. They're exactly in the same position. They have very different meanings. So I think also having those anchor charts, like I said, would help the students identify the difference in the meaning of these two sentences. Thank you.